So continuing on with the Wurlitzer 200A upgrade, we're going to put in the replacement board from Vintage 5, along with all the other components that go along with it in the kit, which includes the new Tremolo pot, which is going to go here on the rail. And we have the new output jack and headphone jack here, and then the effects loop. So before we start into all of that, this has to be twisted. These are the primaries for the power transformer, and these are going to get taped down along the back of the rail. And they kind of have to go along the outside because the new board kind of goes right up to this rail. So it would be nice if we could just sort of secure them down on the inside of this rail, but they have to go along the back side. The Vintage 5 kit comes with a piece of tape, shielding tape, and so we're going to put that here. Okay, so I've got the shielding tape on, and that's tying the primaries back down here against the back of the rail. We'll still use the terminal strip to make the connections between the mains leads and the power transformer primary wires. I think that is looking pretty good. This board is about $420 at this point, and I'm not going to take the chance that I could potentially short out one of these chips on here. Most likely it won't happen, but you never know, and I do not want to pay $420 to replace this board if I screw it up. So we're going to be safe. Okay, so we've got all the secondaries connected, so that should be good. Everything's nice and tight. The next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and put in the LED light. Okay, it looks nice and clean. Let's see how this fits. Perfect, nice and tight. And then the LED bulb will go right in here. And so next we're going to solder in the volume pot cable. Let's get the iron heated up. Next is the tremolo pot. So this nut I'm just going to put on hand tight because we had to do the final adjustment when we put the cover back on, because these two shafts stick through the holes in the cover, and if this is not lined up correctly, it'll rub, or it'll make the knob rub, or just not fit into the hole. So we'll adjust that, crank it tight as one of the last things that we do in this part of the process. Okay, so here we're going to connect the auxiliary output jack and the headphone jack. It comes as one unit. For this, we do have to solder in the existing speaker wire connection, and that goes to this Molex connector, which screws back onto the side of the board. And then the speakers that are in the cover housing have the female Molex connector, and that'll plug in, and that allows you to disconnect it and pull it apart, take the cover off pretty easily. So we'll get this unwound, get it in the vise, and do some soldering. Okay, so we're at the point where the rail has to go back in, and then we can finish the assembly of the auxiliary jack bracket, and then we're also going to install the effects loop. So I'm going to reattach this ground wire to the chassis. Well, I almost forgot to install the new cable for the pickup, so we'll go ahead and do that now. Again, I'm trying to route everything so that it doesn't touch any of these arms here, and I'm always double checking just to make sure that everything is still good. Okay, we have power, we have sound. Okay. Volume. These speakers sound great. Usually they sound like trash and they're all rattly. These are perfect. Let's try the tremolo. So we've got the adjustable. Adjust the speed, and then when we push the button, should reset it back to the standard traditional speed. like it. It sounds great. Yeah, so you can see the tremolo shaft of the tremolo pot is way off center, and that's going to be a problem for the knob that presses onto that. So let's see if we can get that straightened out a bit.
So that looks a little better. Let's tighten that down and see what happens. This part is a little bit trial and error, trying to get that just right.
So this one gets a new knob. It's a different shaft type. All right, I'm gonna have to investigate that a little further.